Today, I will present you the S3 File Manager plugin that we have created to incorporate into the already existing Spryker solutions. But before we start with the implementation, a few lines about who we are. So Xiphias is a Spryker technology partner that is based in Croatia, and we have been delivering enterprise-grade software solutions since 2008. Our origins lie in delivering the custom-made business solution using the .NET technologies across multiple business sectors. But since mid-2020, we have actively been working with Spryker ecosystem. We have more than 5+ implementations, so currently live shops that we are maintaining and also developing. And lately we have been working on building some kind of extensions and plugins to enhance the already existing Spryker solution and to enhance the experience of the user. And this is what I will be sharing today. So first in line will be the S3 File Manager plugin. That the purpose of this one is to simplify media and file operation within the Spryker back office and merchant portals. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to us, here are some links where you can contact us or just send us an email that will be shared later. Okay, so what is the reason and why we built the S3 File Manager? So as we all know, Spryker already incorporates the built-in file manager or the file tree solution, and AWS by itself offers the robust tool for the asset handling with the S3 console. However, from our experience, as the teams scaled and the roles of the back office and merchant portal users diversified, we noticed a growing need for a simpler and more intuitive way how to incorporate the S3 file operations. And some challenges that we observed during that period where we worked was that there was some kind of fragmented user experience that if you're working with AWS S3, you are switching between the Spryker back office and AWS 3 console, which can somehow sometimes interrupt the workflow and add additional complexity for the users. Hard to manage access, so not all users that are working currently with the S3 would be like technically inclined, so they would need to have the accounts, EAM accounts for the AWS with the properly set AWS permissions, which can be time consuming to generate. It usually requires the help from the DevOps team, and also these permissions are a bit tricky to incorporate, since we cannot. I wouldn't give like to a business user that is technically inclined the same rights to the AWS account that developers have, so access to the pipelines and everything else. So we were trying to somehow bypass this whole experience, and sometimes this file handling can be a bit inconvenient. So managing uploads, especially if there are multiple uploads, links, file replacements, they're not sometimes straightforward, and especially not for technical users. And that brings us to what we built. What is the S3 File Manager? So this is a Spryker plugin that enables the secure and scalable digital asset management across the back office and merchant portal, and is fully integrated with AWS S3 solution. How this plugin enhances the Spryker? So we are integrating the interface to the S3 directly into already existing back office and merchant portal that uses the native user interface that Spryker already provides, and we try to simplify how we are uploading in bulk, downloading, deleting files, searching files, and let's say something that we already always were question on, how to copy the links of the asset pretty easy. Who is it for? basically everyone who would work with S3, but what we had in mind when we were developing this was more of a non-technical personnel that would have to work with AWS 3. So content managers that would upload, organize, and manage these digital assets, maybe for the CMS pages, some kind of static content, marketing campaigns to the merchants. So we built a solution that merchants can also use the S3 functionality and store their own files or assets that would be visible only to them, and to marketplace operators to assign the asset management, improve operational consistency, and to overall elevate this marketplace experience. How it works? So we were following the guidelines of the Spryker in developing our solution. So the idea is to have it. The installation should be as easy as possible with minimum configuration on the project side. So basically, we encapsulated our solution into this installable composer package with a minimum project side configuration. So example would be like registering the new namespace and actually adding the AWS S3 credentials to the config. We built our solution on top of the official AWS S3 PHP SDK built by Amazon. That we use the APIs to connect to the S3, and we reuse the ACL integration with Spryker. So there is no need to create a specific users for the back office or merchant portal. We just reuse the existing, or we created the new roles and groups that we would assign to already existing Spryker users and everyone who is working with back office and merchant portal. And now how it all works, I can showcase a bit of a demo. So in here, we would have our back office solution. So first of all, I will show how easy it is to assign the roles to the users. So in here, we can find some users that have the access, that we added access to the S3, this plugin. And if we go and edit the user, we can see that we added it to the S3 files super user group. We have three groups that we are using: S3 files admin, S3 files super users, and S3 file user. And basically, you can assign the roles to whichever user you have already in the Spryker to reuse this functionality. Now we get to the actual implementation. So this user that we are now logged in is an admin user from Spryker, and it has a role of admin S3, means that it can reuse every functionality that we have here. Basically, we are listing all of the buckets that we currently have on our AWS S3 accounts. We can see the images in here that we are using, so S3 images buckets, and we see in here listed the images that are already now presented and saved within this S3. So we can publish or save the images or files to this bucket. We just choose the files and we upload them. So we get a notification that it was successfully uploaded to the S3 images buckets. So we have, as you saw, I added 2 images, so the multiple upload is possible. In here now we have 2 searches that we can use. So the first search is the native Spryker table search, that because we try to reuse as much of Spryker's functionality to be consistent across all of our solutions. And in here we have another filtering that is being directly filtered by the API. So since we now published or saved these files to the S3, we can now search, and directly within the API on the S3, we have found this Spryker PNG file that we have uploaded. If we clear the filter, we would have all of them again in here. So basically now, since we have everything, we can select everything that we have deselected. We can choose multiple files that we possibly want to download. If we download, we save, it was downloaded, sorry. Yeah, it's in here. Then we can delete the files in bulk. So in here, we should now, the deleting was successful, and they were removed. The files were removed from the table, because the table is always being refreshed by the data currently on the AWS S3. We can download a single file in here, and we can delete the files. We can delete, as you saw, multiple files, but we can delete also the single file, and we can copy the URL. So copy URL functionality is copying the file URL that we have in here. So basically, if we now paste the file, we will get the image, and we can reuse it directly within the CMS or some marketing solution within the Spryker that we want to send out. So it's easy as that. You upload the assets to the S3, and then you just copy URL, and you can reuse it across your templates or whatever you are dealing with. So by default, we are only loading 1,000 entries to enhance the performance and of the overall solution. But if you load more data, currently everything is loaded, but this is also can be configured on the project level. What is this threshold of the files that we will return? If we load more data, then it will automatically populate and load everything that is currently residing within this S3 bucket. If we now log out, we can use some other user that we have to explain what are some differences between the roles. So the one that I showed was S3 admin. Sorry. Now we are getting to the S3 super user. So this user by itself within the Spryker only has an access to the S3 files. This is how it was created. And the difference between this one and the admin one is that this user cannot delete the files. The user can upload the files. We see the section for uploading. It can manipulate the files in any way but deleting. So it can download a list, but there is no option to delete and no option to delete in bulk. And in the end, the last S3 user, so just a regular S3 user, only has the possibility to list items, but it cannot upload anything, and it cannot delete the files, since the already super user cannot do this. So basically, this is it when it comes to the back office implementation. And now we can switch to the merchant portal implementation. Let me just refresh it. Okay, so merchant portal basically reuses 95% of the same functionality that you have in back office. Just with one important thing is that you have this, you can only see the folders for the specific merchant user or merchant that you are assigned to. So currently the prefix is ID merchant, and this user belongs to the merchant with ID 1. And you can only see and manipulate the assets within these folders. So, and how it works. Basically, also within the back office, as I showed in the first slide, you can assign to the merchant portal user, you can assign the S3 roles as you would for the back office users. Once you did that, and the first time that you you try to log in into the merchant portal, we automatically create within the one specific bucket for the merchants, we create the new folders that is also configurable on the project side based on your needs. We created these two folders that will be only used by the merchant users for that merchants. And functionality is basically the same as we would have in the back office. So we support multiple bank uploads. We will see now files in here. We can download the files in here. We can delete the files in bank and also file by file. And we can filter out the files directly on AWS, and also we can use this native search functionality that Spryker uses. So basically, if we log out and if I log in with another user in here, another user is so the user that I showed currently was the admin user, as we saw in the admin user for the back office. This one still has the limited rights, as we saw also in the back office implementation, but this is what I really wanted to show. So you can see that these files are now 7 images because this user belongs to a different merchant, and it can only see listed in here the folders within assigned to the merchant that this user is from. So basically, this is the home implementation that we did. And does somebody have any question regarding this implementation?